Because we need to stretch forth towards the things that are ahead of us. So, now I'm really confused. There's some things we got to forget, but there's some things we got to remember. And that word remember, I remember when I preached years ago and I looked up the word, it meant anamnesko, which means to replay like a film. So in other words, when we are trying to remember things, it's like a replaying of a video. How many know that in your mind is more powerful than a computer? And there are memories and there are events and there are things that are downloaded into your hard drive, and all it takes is a thought and boom, that video comes and plays. So today we're remembering those that fought before us. And it's an honor to stand here on a Sunday morning and honor those veterans that were veterans that fought in the war, and also the ones that gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. We've never had to really think about that so much in America because the war hasn't really come, except for 9/11, to our own grounds. But in many countries, they're fighting in their own backyards, their front yards, all around them. And so they're reminded of that type of war, but because of us, because it's so far off, we don't think of it probably as much as other nations. And I really didn't even know the history of Memorial Day, and maybe you do, but you're going to hear it again. And the first Memorial Day was not even called Memorial Day. It's believed to have been celebrated with a parade of freed slaves and Union soldiers marching through Charleston, South Carolina in 1865. Waterloo, New York is considered the official birthplace of Memorial Day because after it was observed there on May the 5th, 1866, General John Murray and General John Logan called all the communities to honor the war dead every year. Logan had been impressed on how the South had been honoring the fallen Confederate soldiers for years. And so here's, South and North, and they're saying, man, look, they're giving honor to their people that died. We got to do something for ours. And so in 1868, Logan, the head of the Prominent Veterans Group, the Grand Army of the Republic, issued a proclamation that Decoration Day be observed nationwide. So if you ever wonder why you see the tombs and you see things in flowers and all that, at first it was called Decoration Day. So that's why people go and they decorate those things. And I know you guys knew it, but I didn't know it. And the day was chosen on May 30th specifically because it was not an anniversary of a battle. Still, many southern communities did not want to honor Decoration Day because of the lingering resentments from the Civil War. So they're saying, okay, they started it, but now we're not going to be a part of it because they started, and we're fighting with them. Until April 1866 in Columbus, Mississippi, after decorating her two sons' tombstones that died representing the beloved South, this elderly woman walks over to two other grave sites that are there at the corner of the cemetery, and she begins to place flowers on them. And her friends ask her, what are you doing? Let me say it in our language. What are you doing? Are you cray-cray? They said, those two graves are Union soldiers. And she softly said, I know. And then she said this, she said, I also know that somewhere or in the north, a mother or a wife mourns for them too, just like we do. And the little band of ladies set in motion what is now celebrated as Memorial Day. Why every great thing that happens, it all comes from some little old woman. And the giving and the offering, the woman saying, come on, let's give, honey. And you're like,